बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम इक़रा बिस्मि रब्बिकल्लज़ी खलक़ खलक़ल इंसान मिन अलक़ इक़रा व रब्बुकल अकरम.
These are the first verses of Quran that address humankind to seek knowledge and delve in critical thinking. The emphasis laid in the acquisition of knowledge in the above verses surpasses any statement or action denying girls the right to education. Had these verses only been for men, it would be inconceivable to imagine the extent of progression that the society made in a mere 23 years, the entire duration of the revelation of the Quran.
सबसे पहली आयत वर्स कुरानिक वर्स जो है, जो सबसे पहले उतरा, रिविलेशन हुआ, वो है इक़रा बिस्मि रब्बिकल्लज़ी खलक़. पढ़ो अपने परवरदिगार का नाम लेकर जो क्रिएटर है, इसने पैदा किया.
Yet, nearly 60% Muslims around the world today are illiterate. Most of them are women. Islam came in Arab at a time when the Arab society, like so many patriarchal societies, was rife with abhorrent practices against girls. Muhammad, peace be upon him, preached Islam, liberating women and girls in every walk of life, education being a prime aspect. His own wives are sheer examples of how education was of utmost importance at that point in time, and thereafter in the context of Islam and women.
The great lady Fatima bint Ibrahim al-Batayhiyya, she was the teacher of Imam Zahabi, Imam Subki, and many big people in Islam. And she was from Syria. So once she came for Hajj, and people asked her in Medina to teach Hadith of the Prophet ﷺ in the mosque of the Prophet ﷺ. And she agreed, and she started teaching there. And she used to teach sit in the mosque opposite of the grave of the Prophet ﷺ, next to his head. And when she is tired, sometimes she used to lean on the wall of the grave. And people who are learning from her, they are major scholars and muftis and fuqaha and jurists.
The shocking part is that the Arab world, where Islam originated, has nearly half of all women illiterate. So what went wrong? Why is it that a religion which emphasizes on the importance of knowledge right from its inception is taking the blame for this educational backwardness?
In India and also in Pakistan and all over Muslim world, they insist that women should stay at home, and that is what they should do, and they don't need to go and have a higher education. They don't need to attend the prayer in the mosque. Many people have been making many of these things against women for a long time.
The right to education is mandated by the Constitution. Yet over 6 decades after independence, more than 50% of Muslim women in India are illiterate. The Muslim community is mostly viewed under the light of religion. Reductive conclusions and misrepresentations of Islamic history, culture and politics have led to a totally distorted perspective, a wide chasm between the lessons and how they are taught and understood. Every problem seems magnified for a marginalized section of the society, especially when women form the ghetto of the ghetto. About 80 kilometers from Delhi lives Nafisa with her 3 daughters and an unemployed husband.
मेरा नाम नफीसा है, मेरे 4 बच्चे हैं, 3 लड़की हैं, 1 लड़का है. मैं उसको पढ़ाना अच्छे से चाहती हूँ. मैं तो अनपढ़ हूँ. मैं जैसे अनपढ़ हूँ तो मैं अपने बच्चे को पढ़ाना चाहती हूँ. मेरा पति अब कुछ नहीं करते हैं, ठालिए पहले गाड़ी चलाता था, अब ठालिए 6 साल से घर बैठा है. वो धंधा कुछ नहीं लग रहा.
Haryana's conservative outlook when it comes to women does not stop the likes of Nafisa. who not only work hard as the sole breadwinner of the family, but also provide impetus to their daughter's growth.
मैं मजदूरी पे जाती हूँ, मुझे 300 रुपये मिलते हैं। 300 रुपया में मैं अपने बच्चे को भी पढ़ाना चाहती हूँ, उसमें से घर का खर्चा भी चलाती हूँ। हमारे इस्लाम में ये सोचते हैं हमारे बूढ़े बड़े जितने भी हैं हम अपनी लड़कियों को कम पढ़ाएं, तो हम ये सोचते हैं कम नहीं पढ़ाएं, हम तो ज़्यादा पढ़ाएं। अपने बच्चे ने हम तो ज़्यादा पढ़ाना चाहते हैं, हमारे बूढ़े बड़े मना करते हैं 10 जमात पढ़ो या 12 जमात पढ़ो, हमारे जितनी पढ़ाई चाहते हैं हम पढ़ाना चाहते हैं। तो मैं ये सोचती हूँ मैंने जब इतनी चीज़ें खो दी हैं अनपढ़ ने, तो मैं अपने बच्चे को क्यों रखूँ अनपढ़। तो मुझे तो कुछ नहीं मिला, अनपढ़ में पढ़ी लिखी होती तो मुझे कुछ मिलता, कहीं पे भी नौकरी मिलती या घर पे बच्चे को भी अपने वो दिखाती, बच्चे ने पढ़ाती लिखाती। तो मैं अनपढ़ में मैंने बहुत ज़्यादा चीज़ें खो दी हैं।
Her story could either be viewed as that of hardships or one of persistence, perseverance, and motivation. While there are many like Nafisa who try hard to put their children into schools, some look at madrasas as a viable alternative to formal education. The relationship between poverty-stricken rural areas and thriving madrasas cannot be ignored.
This distinction of worldly education and religious education was never there. This is only of recent, say about 200-250 years, where you have a madrasa gives a religious education or a conventional education. If you take the earlier part, there was only one education, and with that institute, university or a madrasa, whatever you call, you would have physicists coming out from that same institute, you would have a doctor, you would have a muhaddis, you would have a mufakkir or a mufassir. So, that one educational system was bringing out this kind of thing, but now unfortunately we do not have that. So, at least conventional education and religious education, at least the basic religious education, the rights and duties is very important.
It surprises people to learn that women living under an Islamic order could be scholars and hold the authority that attaches to being knowledgeable about what Islam commands, and therefore sought after and deferred to. These are the introductory lines of Al-Muhaddithat, the Women Scholars in Islam, by Muhammad Akram Nadvi. Maulana Akram Nadvi has studied and written extensively on Hadith, Fiqh and Islamic biography and currently teaches at Oxford University in UK.
Coming to the women education, as I mentioned in my book, I have included the biographies of around 10,000 women. Those women who studied the Hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, then they were able to teach it, and they used to teach in the same places where the men used to teach, in the mosques, in the madrasas, in the colleges. You know, whenever you see any center of learning, whether in Makkah, Medina, or Iraq, Kufa and Basra, or you go to Syria, or Egypt, or Central Asia, anywhere you see any major center of learning, where you see some men are teaching, there are also many women, they also teach.
Poverty is the major cause of high rates of illiteracy among Muslim women. While poverty is a reality to many in this country, there are some who face the problem of education in spite of being rich and content, because they are the victims of a problem bigger than poverty, the problem of cultural ambiguity. Maria is from Afghanistan. She lives in New Delhi for her studies because education of girls is frowned upon in their indigenous culture, so much so that they perpetually feel insecure.
از افغانستان آمدیم 3 سال embassy.
She said that we are living here for 3 years because my father was working in an embassy in Delhi, and after 3 years he went back, and now my mother is staying with us here for our education. They are allowed to study in Afghanistan, but they say many bad things about them to not study and all. So but in India there is nothing like that. Mindset is not a little bit good because there are Shia Sunnis, terrorists are there, and many Taliban are there, and then so there's some problem. They think some people are thinking about something else, and some people are thinking something else. So that's why some problems are there. I like studying here because they teach me very good thing. Yeah, Afghanistan was also good, but I think I'm more comfortable in India because there's security there and educations are more better than Afghanistan.
Maria's mother chose to come to India to educate her children, leaving her husband behind in Afghanistan, who visits them once in a while. She has to go back to her country for her visa renewal every 6 months, but she's ready to take all the pains for her children's education.
بر من زیاد سخت است. یک امنیتی که در کابل الان نیست، یک تشویش شوهر خود را دارم.
Yeah, she is not happy that my father is living there and she's living here. And because in Afghanistan there's not such a good security, and so my mother's worried about my father and even worried about herself and about her children. I think that every girl have to be educated because girls and boys are in the same thing, and they all level, and girls and boys have to be in the same level and have to study well and have a good education. When I go to a hospital, I see the doctors doing many works, and I like those parts, and I want to become a doctor.
Blinded by age-old traditional practices, most people live in ignorance. While it proves to be a loss unto them, their religion is also constantly blemished, for such people constitute the majority, and their religious beliefs and practices are understood as the religion itself.
Especially in Islam, when it is Islam, it is universal, and when it is culture, it is local. So something which is localized, you have to understand this is culture, not religion, not Islam, because if it is Islam, it can be found everywhere. If it is culture, it is geographically placed. Like in Afghanistan, the oppression of women is typical of Afghan society. The tribal society of Afghan has a typical issue, and this is Afghan problem, not a Muslim problem.
To evolve as a modern-day knowledge society, education is imperative. While there are goals aplenty, 100% literacy rate is long overdue. Pakistan, like most its neighbours, is trying hard to cross that mark. However, with only 58% of the population literate, it is set to miss the Millennium Development Goal for education. Male literacy, static at 70%, might blame the rate of female literacy, which stands at 47%, for this low average. But who is to be blamed for the latter?
They are not in a good number in schools, and their enrollment is very low, just because the financial issue, the financial matter of the family is also responsible for this educational backwardness of Muslims. If they don't have financial support, if they don't have family support, if they don't have government support, they are not coming forward.
Miles away in a small village in the Darbhanga district of Bihar, this school epitomizes the underbelly of Indian education system. If the future of India lies in its villages, it certainly looks bleak. With 2 teachers handling 5 different classes in just 2 rooms, this arrangement looks nothing like the classrooms we see in our cinema, or the worst imagination.
स्कूल में शिक्षा का सिर्फ नाम से ढकोसला चल रहा है। 1 से 5 तक के यहाँ पढ़ाई का व्यवस्था की गई है गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से, लेकिन मास्टर यहाँ केवल 2 ही हैं। उन 2 में से भी एक को पता नहीं क्या BLO बना देते हैं, तो जनगणना में रह जाते हैं, तो पहचान पत्र बनाने में रह जाते हैं, बच जाते हैं 1 ही मास्टर। तो कभी सीआरसी ड्यूटी में जाते हैं तो कभी बीआरसी मीटिंग में जाते हैं। बस पढ़ाई के नाम पर तो सिर्फ ढकोसला ही है हमारे यहाँ। मजबूरन लोगों को गांव के अगल बगल अगर कहीं कोई कॉन्वेंट स्कूल छोटा मोटा है तो बच्चों को मजबूरी में भेजना पड़ रहा है।
This school exposes some very bitter realities. In fact, it is the bitter reality.
जिसके जेब में पैसा है वो तालीम हासिल करे, गरीब बेचारा धक्के खाए या सरकारी स्कूल में दरख्त के नीचे बैठे या खपरेल के नीचे बैठे या फिर वो गायब होने वाले उस्तादों का निशाना बने। तो जो सरकारी स्कूलों का हाल है सब जानते हैं कि वो नाकाम है, और प्राइवेट स्कूल कमर्शियलाइज है, तो बेचारा गरीब कहाँ जाएगा, झुग्गी झोपड़ी वाला जाहिल रहेगा।
However, Ronak chose a different track for herself and her daughters. She chose not to let her daughters suffer the way she did due to lack of good education. She chose the national capital.
मेरा नाम रौनक आरिफ है और मैं बिहार से बिलोंग करती हूँ। वहाँ पे कुछ अच्छा स्कूल वगैरह नहीं है, जिसकी वजह से मैं यहाँ दिल्ली पे आई अपने बच्चों को पढ़ाने के लिए। मेरे 3 बच्चे हैं, 2 बेटी 1 बेटा। तो बड़ी वाली मेरी 3 साल की थी तब मैं दिल्ली में आई थी और छोटी 9 महीने की थी। मेरी ख्वाहिश है कि मेरी बेटियाँ दोनों कुछ बन के दिखाएँ, इसलिए कि मेरे मतलब जहाँ मेरा घर है ससुराल है वहाँ पे ऐसा है नहीं कुछ। तो मेरी ये ख्वाहिश है, मैं इसीलिए यहाँ पे आई हूँ कि मेरी दोनों बच्चियाँ कुछ ऐसा करें जो लगे कि हाँ मेरे घर में कि उनके बच्चे मतलब ये बाहर निकलें सबको छोड़कर, तो उनके बच्चे कुछ बनकर आएँ। मैं जब छोटी सी थी, हम लोग भी 5 भाई बहन थे, लेकिन मेरे टाइम में उतना वहाँ पे था नहीं स्कूल का पढ़ने का, लेकिन मेरी ख्वाहिश बहुत थी पढ़ने की। पर पापा ने कहा कि अभी क्या है, जितना उनसे हो सका पहले उन्होंने मदरसा में पढ़वाया, मैं वहाँ पढ़ी। फिर मैंने प्राइवेट से 10th तक किया। उसके बाद फिर मेरी ख्वाहिश हुई, लेकिन कुछ वो नहीं किया गया और शादी हो गई मेरी। मुझे बहुत परेशानी होती थी, मतलब प्रॉब्लम रहती थी पैसे की। मैं बच्चों को ठीक से करा नहीं सकती, अगर स्कूल की फ़ीस दिया तो फिर परेशानी होती थी ट्यूशन में इसमें। तो ये सोचकर मैंने बिज़नेस शुरू किया ताकि मेरे बच्चों को कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं आए, वो अच्छे से पढ़ें लिखें, उनकी जो ख्वाहिश है उन्हें जो चाहिए वो मैं दे सकूं। इसलिए मैंने बिज़नेस किया। मेरा टिफ़िन का सर्विस है और मैं उसे होम डिलीवरी करवाती हूँ। पहले मैंने 1-2 किया, फिर लगा कि कुछ और आ रहा है तो फिर मैंने नेट पे उसे दे दिया। तो नेट पे देने के बाद बहुत सारी कॉल आती हैं, सभी को खाना पसंद आता है और मैं अब खुश हूँ इसलिए कि मेरा 25-30 टिफ़िन जो है वो पर डे जाता है। ज़्यादा जो अभी मतलब बिहार में या इसमें यही सोचते हैं कि लड़कियां बड़ी हो गई हैं, अब उन्हें क्यों भेजें स्कूल, मतलब जिस तरह का ज़माना है उस हिसाब का सोच कर कि ये करेंगे तो बच्चियां ऐसे हो जाएगी, ये कुछ करे उससे अच्छा उसे शादी कर दो, चीज़ कर दो। लेकिन मैं इसे नहीं मानती हूँ। मेरी सोच यही है कि जो मतलब मेरे साथ हुआ है वो बच्चियों के साथ नहीं हो, उन्हें एक खुलकर जीने का वो मिले, उन्हें हर एक चीज़ की सहूलियत मिले, वो पढ़ लिख कर कुछ इस तरह बने जो उन्हें फिर इस तरह नहीं देखना पड़े जो उनकी अम्मी ने देखा है। मुझे बहुत सारी प्रॉब्लम आती है, जो हस्बैंड के साथ रहते हैं उनकी बात ही अलग होती है कि हाँ चलो दोनों मिलकर करते हैं। अब मैं अकेले सारा चीज़ करती हूँ और कभी कभी मुझे लगता है कि वो भी साथ रहते। अकेले मतलब मैनेज करना, बच्चों को स्कूल छोड़ना, उनको ये करना, फिर घर देखना, काम करना, बहुत सारी प्रॉब्लम आती है। तो कुछ बच्चों को भी लगता है कि हाँ मम्मी मेरे साथ उतना वो नहीं कर पाती हैं, फिर भी मेरी जितनी ख्वाहिश है मैं उनके लिए करती हूँ ताकि उन्हें कोई मतलब ये नहीं लगे कि हाँ अब्बू दूर हैं और मम्मी अकेले मतलब मुझे नहीं करती हैं। तो मैं अपने जानिस्ता उनका बहुत ख्याल रखती हूँ, करती हूँ।
While she somehow managed primary and secondary education for her daughters, higher education still looks like a far-fetched dream. Lack of adequate finances and good educational institutes, even in a city like Delhi, have once again put a halt to her journey.
स्कूल तो बहुत सारे हैं, लेकिन स्कूल में सेफ्टी नहीं है। अब ये लगते हैं कि हाँ वहाँ पे टीचर हैं, लेकिन वैसे टीचर नहीं हैं जिनको मतलब एजुकेशन वो अच्छे से दे सकें बच्चों को। फिर मैं यहाँ करवाया, जामिया में करवाया, लेकिन वहाँ पे इस कदर कंपटीशन है कि बच्चों का हो नहीं पाया। बहुत सारे मतलब सीट्स कम हैं और बच्चे बहुत ज़्यादा हैं। मेरा यही है कि मैं करवाऊँ तो जामिया में हो या अलीगढ़ यूनिवर्सिटी में हो। मेरा 2 ऑप्शन है बस, उससे आगे मतलब कुछ कर ही नहीं सकती हूँ मैं। दूसरे प्राइवेट स्कूल में मतलब नहीं अफोर्ड कर पाऊँगी मैं।
Even those who are able to afford primary education face severe challenges when it comes to secondary education, mainly due to lack of conducive environment, limited options, financial crisis, and ignorance, both political and social. The quality and condition of education in India has been subject to endless criticism, be it the state of classrooms, lack of teachers, lack of basic facilities, the list is endless. The deteriorating system of education needs attention, and needs it now. Ronak is one among the few who understand the worth of educating their daughters, but there are many who fail to see beyond the end of their nose.
हमारे इस्लाम तरीके में ऐसा है कि छोकरी जात को बाहर जाती वो नहीं दी, बरोबर। साथ यहाँ चौपड़ी पल्ली बहुत है बेटा, तुम पढ़ने लिखने के लायक हो गए। मैं चिल्ले उनका काम ही है कि गन्ने पकाना खिलाना।
जो लोग मुखालफत में बात कर रहे हैं उनकी बात की काट यही है कि हकीकत बताई जाए। जब आप हकीकत पेश करेंगे तो गलत बात ख़त्म हो जाएगी, उसका वजूद नहीं रहेगा। तो हमारे यहाँ तो भाई कुरान पाक की आयतें हों या नबी सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम की बातें हों, दोनों बिल इत्तिफाक ये ज़रूरी करार देते हैं कि मर्द और औरत, लड़की और लड़का दोनों को बराबर तरीके पर तालीम दी जाए।
A complex web of circumstances makes the schooling of Muslim girls a daunting task. There's a fair degree of conservatism, even a tendency to regard education for girls as being not entirely necessary, sometimes even viewed as an impediment in getting a girl married.
Generally, the boys prefer low educated girls because there is a mindset कि अगर ज़्यादा पढ़ी लिखी लड़की लाएंगे तो वो हुकूमत करेगी मुझ पे, वो हुक्म चलाएगी और लोग मुझे ताना देंगे कि आप तो कम पढ़े लिखे हैं, आपकी वाइफ ज़्यादा पढ़ी लिखी हुई है।
अगर ये माइंडसेट है लोगों का कि साहब ये लड़की को ज़्यादा पढ़ाएंगे तो पढ़ा लिखा लड़का इससे ज़्यादा पढ़ा लिखा लड़का नहीं मिलेगा, ये बिल्कुल जहालत का कॉन्सेप्ट, एब्सोल्युटली ये माइंडसेट है, कुछ नहीं है। पढ़ी लिखी लड़की की हर जगह ज़रूरत पड़ेगी।
I can't deny that there is a certain section in society which is still in a very regressive way of life. But having said that, that might not be only, that's also in the case of many Hindu, families, and in many Christian families as well, which have still a very backward way of life.
If my parents would have told me not to get education, then they must have also mentioned certain reasons that why I should not get education, and then and moreover, it is like that whatever you say about your religion, about Islam, that Islam says such and such thing, you should always give some reference that where it is mentioned in the Quran or in the Hadith that it is there in the Islam. Like if somebody says that you should not get educated, then you should say that in which ayat of the Quran or in which hadith of in which book it is mentioned that Muslims should not get educated. So if somebody is not able to provide you with such reasons, then I don't think there is any point in believing any such thing.
All the sayings of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the ayats of Quran, when they talk about getting educated, it is always including women. Men are not separated from it. It is for both. So it is a fundamental right of a woman also to get quality education which a man gets.
Now we usually talk of equality, we talk of independence, but when it actually comes to practicing it, we break ourselves, we pull ourselves back, and the society still has these things in practice. Women are not allowed to go out. A girl is not allowed to study what she wants to. There are so many career options available, but either she has to follow the family rituals, the family decisions that okay, you can study this only. If you are not able to secure admission here, fine, leave the studies. Islam says that educate every human, not just a Muslim. So even if we follow Islam, we have to support the education of each and every human around us, each and every child around us, each and every boy, each and every girl.
The education of girls has always demanded higher investment in terms of more facilities, more women teachers, separate schools, transport and scholarships to provide the much needed incentives.
If we see that the most of the Muslim population is located in rural areas, in semi-urban areas. Now, if we analyze the facilities there are very few schools in those localities, and if there are schools, they are far off. And even these far off schools are co-ed educational schools. Now, there is this practice of parda, segregation of sex, and if really state wants to help and bring these women forward and help Muslim girls especially to be educated, then what they need is that they need schools located nearby, which kind of provides them security, and all girls schools, preferably in Urdu medium, because it is very important. Mother tongue becomes very important. In a way, it's a facilitator. It will help them.
अगर औरत महफूज नहीं है, माहौल इस तरह का है कि बच्चियां बाहर जाएंगी तो ख़तरा है, उनकी आबरू को ख़तरा है या और किसी तरह की बात है, तो फिर वहाँ स्कूल वालों को चाहिए कि बहुत एहतमाम के साथ, सेफ्टी के साथ बसों का, गाड़ियों का इंतज़ाम करें कि जिनमें पूरी सेफ्टी के साथ उनको घर से स्कूल ले जाया जाए, पढ़ाया जाए, या फिर जहाँ उनकी लोकेलिटी है वहीं पर स्कूल खोले जाए.
We need to find out some solution whereby we can have basic schooling very localized, like within one lane, every lane should have a basic primary school with minimum infrastructure and strong teachers based in that area. Because if we can have this 100% literacy rate, this area would have all the women of that area would be educated, they would contribute in teaching, and since they are in the neighborhood, they would have more passion to teach.
While there are numerous instances of minority-run institutions among Christians, Sikhs and Parsis that have made special efforts to provide free education to their girls, among Muslims, this consciousness has been late in coming.
ये एजुकेशन जो है ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ है इस कंट्री के लिए. एक कम्युनिटी को आपने एजुकेशन दे दी, दूसरी को नहीं दी, और डिसबैलेंस होगा और बहुत प्रॉब्लम होगी. तो बहुत ज़रूरी सबको पढ़ाइए आप, और पढ़ाइए. जब आप पढ़ाने के लिए निकलते हैं तो क्यों नहीं बच्चे पढ़ते, क्या क्या प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, उनको डेफिनेटली आपको ठीक करना पड़ेगा. उस पर रिसर्च करना पड़ेगी आपको कि क्या क्या प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, क्यों बच्चे स्कूल नहीं जाते, क्यों नहीं पढ़ते. एंड पढ़ाई को इतना इंटरेस्टिंग बनाना पड़ेगा कि चिल्ड्रन शुड कम टू द स्कूल. जिस दिन छुट्टी हो उस दिन उनको तकलीफ हो कि आज घर बैठना पड़ेगा.
But all is not bleak. In Shahpur locality in Ahmedabad, things are changing. In 2012, Gujarat Sarvajanik Welfare Trust established Shama School, a remarkable step towards providing affordable and quality education to Muslim girls.
There are lots of poverty is one issue, safety of women is one issue, money is one issue, creating infrastructure, getting lots of people involved, how to crystallize it and how to go forward.
That is the reason we have created this infrastructure, that we should not differentiate the child on the financial position of the fathers or the families.
A part of Shama's efforts is increasing awareness in the local Muslim community and making them aware of the importance of educating their daughters.
Basically bringing this building into existence, this infrastructure into existence, is that the girls of those families who are not financially very equipped, who cannot afford the elite schools, should not be deprived of these infrastructures or these facilities, because giving them only education without the exposure makes them stand very much in a low profile when they actually have to face the world. So if they are being brought up in a well established culture, they don't have that lack of confidence within them that we have not seen this, we have not used this. There are many students in my school who cannot afford these things. They don't have these facilities like computers at home. They don't have this space at home. They live in small houses with 10 or 10 members in a family. So they don't have their own space. But here we give them. Here my students will have their own lockers where they can put their books and their belongings, so that they don't have to carry heavy bags every day to the school. They will have their own computers where they will create their own files and put their stuff into it. They are being taught how to plan and study.
A part of the school's agenda is to interact with local parents and encouraging them to send their daughters to school. But more importantly, it helps teachers understand the social conditions and environment from which their students belong, so that they develop sensitivity towards them and modify their teaching methodology.
In running a good school, the biggest issue is good teachers. Teachers who are dedicated, teachers who have passion. But again, if you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. It's as simple as that. So you need to pay enough amount. I don't say extravagant, but at least you pay them enough amount that those teachers, their interest of teaching remains. So if they lose the interest of teaching and it becomes mechanical, then whatever infrastructure you have in your school will be of no use if the teachers don't have that passion.
A school meant for girls requires special attention to its infrastructure, and Shama takes care of it by providing just that.
We are providing an environment of safety and security. That is very big issue in our school, that safety of those girls coming to the school and security of those girls coming to the school. Security in the sense not only physical, even their mental security, their psychological security, their security of modesty, security of their culture, because the parents are bothered about every aspect.
On one hand, Shama School aims to provide quality education in all subjects like maths, science, English, etc. And on the other, it includes Islamiyat, the teachings of Quran in the curriculum.
Shama School, our focus is more on training part. So, training part is very important, because you cannot make a person honest in one day. So, these 10-12 years you have to train them to be honest, you have to train them to be non-corrupt, you have to train them to be with integrity, you have to train them with all the good qualities, and that is the reason why we have carved out this model of school, wherein we are very much careful about training girls into all these qualities.
मेरे 5 बच्चे हैं, उसमें 4 लड़कियां हैं। मेरी चारों लड़कियां समाज स्कूल में पढ़ती है। मेरे को घर में बहुत प्रॉब्लम है, इसीलिए मैंने फ़ी माफ़ कराई है। हमारा एक ही कमरा है, एक कमरे में रहने की बहुत दिक्कत होती है। बच्चे पढ़ते हैं, मैं सिलाई काम करती हूँ, बच्चे पढ़ते हैं, एक बाजू बच्चे पढ़ते हैं, एक बाजू में सिलाई काम करती हूँ, यानी बहुत मुसीबत उठाना पड़ती है। लेकिन हम दूसरा घर ले नहीं सकते, हमारे पास इतनी, मेरे आदमी की इतनी सैलरी है नहीं और हमारे पास इतने पैसे नहीं कि हम 2 रूम का घर ले सकें। बच्चियों को ये ज़माने में पढ़ाना ज़रूरी है। बच्चों ने इतनी उम्र में घर की पोजीशन देखी है, हालत देखी है कि मम्मी पापा कौन से रिश्ते हमारे को खाना पीना खिलाते हैं, कौन से रिश्ते करते हैं, एडजस्ट मम्मी खाना कैसे पकाती है, सब एडजस्ट कैसा करते हैं। और बच्चों का अभी से नहीं कि ऐसा है कि हम लोग पढ़ लिख के बड़े होंगे तो मम्मी पापा की हर एक तकलीफ़ और हर एक मुसीबतों को हम दूर कर सकेंगे, हम आगे बढ़ेंगे। मेरी लड़कियां पढ़ेगी और उनको उम्मीद है, उनको हौसला है, कुछ भी प्रॉब्लम होगी, कैसी भी हालत होगी, हम हमारी बच्चियों को पढ़ाएंगे।
She's among the many people who are benefited by the efforts of Shama.
बहुत अच्छा है, ऐसी मदद मिले तो बहुत अच्छा है, क्योंकि पतरे वाला मेरा घर है, उसमें तो बहुत गर्मी लगती है मेरे बच्चों को, तो उसमें उनको है ना तो डिस्टर्ब भी बहुत होता है पढ़ने के लिए। बच्चे यानी कि पढ़ते पढ़ते कंटाल भी जाते हैं कि मम्मी गर्मी लगती है, ये होता है, ये प्रॉब्लम है, वो प्रॉब्लम है, लेकिन क्या करें।
I think if you have empathy, then empathy will find a way of working around the obstacles that exist. People who are well informed must take upon themselves to engage with the community and enlighten them that never was it suggested remotely by the Holy Prophet or by their faith that women should be kept enslaved and should be kept in darkness and shackled to ignorance.
Gujarat Sarvajanik Welfare Trust has come up with a new branch of Shama School in Juhapura area of Ahmedabad. The new building, having open garden, playing area and Montessori classes, is no less than a modern-day high-end school. Except the fee structure. The neighborhood thrives on daily wages for their basic needs. And if not for Shama, education wouldn't count as one. In such a poor locality, a school ensuring quality education is a blessing.
इस साल हमने और एक काम शुरू किया कि नर्सिंग स्कूल हमारी ये शुरू हुई, और लास्ट ईयर एंड वक्त पर हमको 30 बच्चों की परमिशन के साथ में स्कूल की परमिशन मिली।
With the inclusion of science stream in higher education, students can now discover new avenues of success. While formal education is necessary, skill-based learning drives growth. For those with interest and potential, a special nursing course has been recently launched by the trust.
મારી ફેમિલી સપોર્ટ અને મારા પેરેન્ટ્સના સપનું હતું કે હું નર્સ બનું એક સારી, અને એના માટે મેં નર્સિંગ જોઈન કર્યું છે.
This not only trains them in a niche area, but also ensures a brighter and secure future.
पहले जब यहाँ आए थे ऐसा नहीं था कि समाज सेवा करनी है, पहले ऐसा था नाम बनाना है, पैसा कमाना है, और हम अब फिर यहाँ पर आके ऐसा हुआ सबको सपोर्ट करते देखा, नहीं पैसा कमाना है, फिर जब हम कमाएंगे ना तब ये ट्रस्ट में हमको भी देना है कुछ.
The trust sees in them not just doctors or scientists, but also teachers of tomorrow. The road to success is usually under construction. What really matters is the intent. A new building, which will soon prove to be a building block to many glorious careers, is being constructed to provide state-of-the-art infrastructure for the nursing course. While Gujarat Sarvajanik Welfare Trust is doing path-breaking work in the field of education, the problem of daily bread and survival still tops the list of concerns. Sarjan, an NGO in Ahmedabad, understands this need of the community and works towards making Muslim women independent by training them in soft skills, which they call life skills.
Education is an issue, but we need to even focus on the overall development of the children today. We have started skill-based work for the kids here and for the ladies. We should have education through arts and crafts too, because that's a whole package. The whole idea of putting these skill-based art is to get them self-employment, and with that self-employment, if the girl wants to educate with her own earning, and it's also giving a confidence and a self-esteem.
34 ईयर से यहाँ सर्जन में काम करती हूँ, और जब मैं शुरू में काम करने आई तो सब लोगों ने मुझे बहुत तंग किया था, इसलिए कि यहाँ पे जुहापुरा एरिया के अंदर कोई मुस्लिम की लेडी बाहर काम करने नहीं जा रही थी, और मैंने शुरुआत की थी यहाँ से बाहर दूसरों के साथ काम करने की। जब स्टार्टिंग में हम लोग ग्रीटिंग कार्ड्स बनाते थे तो ग्रीटिंग कार्ड्स बनाने के लिए बच्चों को यहाँ हम तैयारी करवाते, बच्चे ग्रीटिंग कार्ड्स बनाते। इसमें से बहुत सारे करीबन 5 या 6 बच्चे हमारे पेंटर हुए हैं, तो अभी वो पेंटिंग का काम करते हैं और उसमें वो अच्छा कमा लेते हैं। तो और ग्रीटिंग कार्ड जो बच्चे करते हैं तो वो हम बेचते भी हैं ताकि वो मुनाफा जो है वो हम बच्चों को दे सकें।
The problem of education in India is not limited to Muslims as a community or women as gender. What is important is a step towards coming out of this problem. More so, to detach Islam as a religion from these problems. A school like Shama is an example of how an initiative can bring a revolutionary change in this grim situation. But is one Shama enough?
One more solution which occurs to my mind now is that we need to have a collaboration. We need to have a cooperation of all the people who are running these schools at present or running some kind of education. So everybody has different kind of ideas and very positive ideas.
So we need to first develop this will and start from whatever is available. Our problem is that we want to have that system, an NGO or school. No, let's start. I can start doing right now with the child of my neighbor or in the poor neighborhood. I start doing that.
कुछ लोगों की प्रॉब्लम्स ये हैं कि उनके पास पैसा नहीं है, वो पढ़ नहीं सकते। तो अगर आपके हालात अच्छे हैं तो आप उनको पढ़ाइए। अगर आप किसी भी बच्चे को पढ़ा सकते हैं जो स्कूल जाने में इंटरेस्टेड है, जिसकी के अटेंडेंस बिल्कुल सही है, तो पढ़ाओ उसको।
So we are open to ideas. Shama School, we don't claim that we are the best solution. We are trying to find out solution, and whatever we thought we have implemented, and we need to learn a lot from others, from past experiences, from our own mistakes. Naturally, when we are doing new things, every day we may be committing mistakes, but then we have to learn from them. We have to learn from others who are doing good. We have to learn from others' mistakes. So lots of things are happening. So we are into trial and error area now. So we have not achieved anything. We are in the process. We have just started actually. So it's a long way we have to go for that.
The new dawn of education and information should be reaching every crevice of our society, and I don't see why it should not reach the homes where that light has not reached for hundreds of years.
ये इल्म सबका हक है, जैसे इंसानी हक सबका हक है, सबको मिलना है। इसमें मर्द और औरत में कोई फ़र्क नहीं, छोटे बड़े में फ़र्क नहीं, हाकिम महकूम में फ़र्क नहीं, गरीब अमीर में फ़र्क नहीं।